That's why I'm here to show my support as a black man for Trump. And I'm wearing my shirt, Niggas for Trump 2024, and I mean that.
What up? We are back this week in White Supremacy. How y'all doing? Glad y'all joined us again. My name is Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And to my immediate right...
It's a miracle. Fuck down.
Get him off.
Gunshot.
Get him off.
That's your move.
It's your girl, Miracle, a.k.a. Big Blessing with the Big Blessings, coming to say it's been a great week for black women. It's a great week.
Okay.
It's a great week for black women.
All right, great week for black women. I like that. Who you stand with?
Who I always,
Yeah.
24/7.
And we stand with
365,
as well.
10 toes, always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though we sitting down right now.
I mean, her 10 toes are still down, technically. You can't actually be more 10 toes down than what you're sitting.
That's facts.
Hilarious.
That's facts.
And my brother.
It's your boy, Trouble Nonetheless, Never Like Supremacy. Woke up next level ski. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You said next level ski?
I woke up next level ski.
So you were
I
went to sleep and woke up and you were still
Yes.
feeling the effects.
Man,
oh wow.
listen, one of my
Wow.
friends had some peach rings yesterday.
I don't know what
I
those
ate
are.
one.
Service on a Sunday.
Man,
Peach rings? What's that?
peach ring. It was like an edible peach ring.
Okay,
I
got
didn't
you.
know it was as strong as it was.
Okay.
I
Wow.
was still feeling it, man.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, the edibles to do it to you every time. That's what I heard. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
That's what I heard. And my brother.
Who are you today, my purple king?
I'll take that one. Someone's affectionate indiscretion.
Oh, wow.
Get it off. What else?
The supreme Asiatic intelligently divine, man. You know, the velvet voice villain, the
Yes.
nigga you love to hate.
Yes.
know? Yeah.
Well, speaking of hating,
Speaking of hate,
I
I
mean, and
love to hate, man.
Well, I mean,
not in this context.
Not in this context. This
Right,
is
no,
the
no.
context where hate turns negative, right? And it's
isn't that the crux of our show, though?
Well, I think that this is what we've been trying to avoid, right? I think part of why we have a show called This Week in White Supremacy, we talk about it, is to, bring that awareness of what's happening in the world, and we provide resources and books and different things in order to kind of dismantle this system. Because until we dismantle this system, we're going to keep seeing things like this, right? And what we're talking about is what happened in Jacksonville this weekend, where a man who basically said he hated black people went into a Dollar General. They said first he actually tried to go into a historically black university, and that the security guard, whoever that security guard brother is, ran him out of the university. But then he found black people at this Dollar General, specifically killing 3 people. According to, they said, he said he hated black people. He was 100% lucid. He knew what he was doing. And then he turned the gun on himself and killed himself. And so again, we're left in this situation where, you wake up again, it's similar to what happened in Buffalo. And really, this is kind of our history as black and brown people in America, right? Is having to deal with this type of violence. When you go all the way back to how we got here to now, there's always that, looming over us, right? That shadow of violence of white people being violent towards us only because we're black could be there, right? And often is there. Just any initial reactions to what you all read or saw?
So I'll be honest with you. I stayed as far away from this as possible.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have this kind of affect me any further than I knew it was going to. We talk about on the show.
Right.
So I still don't know. I just know what we talked about earlier yesterday.
Yeah. The guy's name was Ryan Paul Meter. He was 21. 21 years old. Right. Wow. And that, that was a lot. There was a lot of, remember when Obama became president, and it's America's post-racial now, and it was this idea that all the racists are old, and dying out, and this new generation is multicultural, not racist. But what we're seeing and what we've been seeing recently with white supremacist violence is that's not the case, right? It's really becoming this generation is becoming more polarized, it seems like, and more adoptive of white supremacy policies. Trouble?
So I was reading the article and I came across Ron DeSantis' response to this, and I just thought it was ironic.
Yeah,
because here he is condemning bro for killing people on the basis of race, but here he is launching whole campaigns against curriculums that teach on the basis of racism,
right?
To let people like this and people around people like this know the context of racism, the history of racism, how it still affects us today. Now we have whole classrooms of students who don't really know the impact of racism in Florida, who will probably read this story and be like, well, what's wrong with it?
Yeah, by his own volition, he couldn't even really talk about why this murder happened.
Right. Like historically, this couldn't make the textbooks next year because then you would have to bring them. Remember, it's this whole Tulsa wasn't because of race. This whole idea slavery was beneficial. And we'll get into DeSantis because this happened in Florida, and DeSantis, although it happened in an area in Florida where, has a number of black people, DeSantis having to come there, and it's really kind of like his worst nightmare in a sense. Yeah. Because remember, it was Ron DeSantis, I'm coming to you, Miracle. It was Ron DeSantis who, when the NAACP put a travel advisory out and said that Florida has become hostile to black Americans and that black Americans should not travel to Florida. It was Ron DeSantis that called that a joke. That was a joke. That was a stunt, a political stunt. And now we have, if you were just somebody that visited Florida, went down there, here's a white person with swastikas on his rifle just randomly killing black people. And so it proves the NAACP's point and is refuted this idea of what DeSantis is talking about. Remember, this is also a couple months ago when, remember, they had a DeSantis rally outside of Disney World, and they had literal swastikas. Yeah. They had swastikas, they had big banners, they were praising DeSantis for going at Disney World, and DeSantis' campaign never condemned that act. And so it goes back to, it was a clip that people had been playing when DeSantis was running for governor against, what was the black dude that he was running for governor against?
Andrew Gilliam.
Andrew Gilliam. And Andrew Gilliam says, I don't know if you're racist, but the racists believe you're racist. Yeah. So the racists think you're racist. And so it is interesting to see DeSantis stumble his way through this issue because it's all about anti-black racism. Like you said, Trouble, something that he's been promoting to run for president of the United States. Miracle?
Yes. So on Saturday, Angela Carr, Anol Laguerre, I think is how you say Laguerre, and Gerald Deshaun Gallion were murdered by this white supremacist who had apparently tried to target other areas where he believed that black people were congregating.
Yes.
And we have to talk about historically churches, stores, and schools are the places that white supremacists target when they are trying to create terror and panic within black communities, because those are the places that we are forced to gather and congregate due to white supremacy and redlining and other white supremacist actions. And so he intentionally killed these people because he wanted to kill black people.
Yes.
And he did this on the weekend of the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, where MLK gave his infamous I Have a Dream speech. And the fact that 60 years later, we are fighting the very same issues and supremacy that our ancestors were doing 60 years later, I think is very telling.
True.
And for the people in Florida who have found themselves at this cesspool of white supremacy, they don't have any support, right? Because if you want to say black victims, here is the number for you to call for support and investment, the state has banned that, right?
Right.
You literally cannot even do cultural competency in the state of Florida.
Correct.
Because the state has banned that. So not what we're looking at for black people in Florida, they're being preyed upon, and now they have no protection. The government's not going to protect them.
Right.
Their communities can't even protect them because their communities are fighting just to survive because they can't even say the word black.
Right.
And this is why we have to fight back against supremacist violence, and why we have to call it white supremacy, and why we have to sit there and say that we have a right as black people to say black, to be black, and to congregate and fight for resources for black people.
Absolutely. No, yeah, 1,000%. There actually was. And shout out to the people in Jacksonville. You know, obviously there were different vigils, and there was one where DeSantis was brought up. And shout out to the crowd because, you know, they shut him down and kind of booed him lustily during this
hell of an Wow.
Can you play that clip?
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is here. We're going to ask the governor if he will come down and turn remarks.
Who's clapping? Like, why is these niggas clapping? Like,
you hear that?
ooh,
yeah.
Thank you for doing this. I want to just say to the councilwoman.
Yeah, you can pause that. You can pause that. And I'm so shocked. Right, you heard somebody say like the blood is on your hands, and it's like you create this environment where you make like just the teaching of our history like illegal.
So what?
Like literally,
like, my question for Governor DeSantis is like, is your stance? Oh, I just want to subjugate you. I don't want to see you dead. Is that your stance? It's like, because that has to be your official retort. If you're not going to respond, it's like, oh, I didn't want you to die.
Right.
I just want to dehumanize you.
Right. 100%. Yeah. You wanna oppress, you want to kind of keep them under you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
subjugation. That's what I said. Like,
it'd be the same thing if there's violence against, you know, queer folks who he's also came out, you know, against. It's like, oh, I don't want you to die or be killed. But I don't know. Maybe he does, but it's like, keep it in the closet.
Right.
Like, it's like you want that violence, or you want the implications or ramifications of your policies to be like behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Because when it is in your face in such a manner like it is, where the guy writes a manifesto and he's fans of people like DeSantis and Trump, and you know what I'm saying? And so when you have that history right in front of you, what other, you can only just connect the dots.
I almost made a really terrible joke.
To like, these are your policies, and your policies have led to and these 3 black people being killed. And the question is, and I think like Miracle has to add, you know, we have to then start to say, what does our security look like? And we've had conversations like this at One Hood,
internally,
right? What does our security look like? What are our protocols?
6 hour, that's what it looked like.
What are our protocols if somebody comes to our event or somebody comes into our office? Like, as black organizers and activists, we have to think this way. There was also, and I think, is this why you have your Stand With Black Woman shirt on? There was a picture.
Shout out to Jasmine, New York Times featured artisan Jasmine.
Oh, she brought you. Today. Yes, and so there was a picture that went viral. And who is the sister that is standing next to Ron DeSantis?
She is I believe a state representative in Florida. Mm-hmm. I want to say her name was Annette,
because she did an interview and she's standing next to Ron DeSantis, you know, with a look that like every black person that has, you know, like. We heard DeSantis read it. We know Ron DeSantis doesn't give a damn about these black lives, right?
No.
We know he doesn't care about us, our community, or our safety, our protection. That's the last thing he cares about. But he has to go there because he's running for president, and right? He's running for office. It's politics. And so she's just looking at him like everything coming out of DeSantis' mouth is just bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
We asked each other before, and even on the show, like, if you are a black person right now that is employed by Ron DeSantis, how do you feel? Like, it was this weekend the awakening for you to turn in your resignation, or are you still going to stick this campaign out?
I think, you know, if you signed up, you knew what you were getting into.
That's fair.
And you knew what you were supporting. And I do think, like, to me, you also have to take some of the responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
To me, because you're empowering this man. But can you play the interview that the sister did, Angie Nixon, who's a state representative for Jacksonville, is the sister wearing the shirt. And now it wasn't just the shirt. It was also like the look on her face.
Yeah.
That was like all of our feelings she embodied and encompassed. She did an interview shortly thereafter about, why she felt that way listening to DeSantis spew his bullshit.
Myself and other representatives, particularly Black representatives, throughout the past few legislative sessions, we have repeatedly told him what his rhetoric was going to do. And that is exactly what transpired on yesterday. This is an agenda that he has been pushing since he has gotten into office. He showed us who he was when he initially ran for governor, saying, don't monkey this around, don't monkey this up. Those type of statements, it only leads to things like this. Republican leadership across this state who are doing everything to continually attack Black lives, right? They are doing everything to erase Black history. They are feeding our children propaganda. All that does is lead to the devaluation of Black lives. This guy, he had no respect for the Black community.
Yeah, so I mean, I think, again, Representative Angie Nixon is all of us, right?
Absolutely.
And echoing what we said about how, and what Miracle, said eloquently at the beginning about how we knew that this was going to lead to that. But kind of like what you said, Farouk, there was another clip from a different
point of view.
I guess this is a councilwoman in Jacksonville that was, you take a deep breath. That was different. And this is, Black people empowering white supremacy, right? And what's her name? You said her name was
Jacoby Pittman.
This is
Councilwoman Jacoby Pittman from Jacksonville, Florida.
Can you play that clip, man?
Reluctantly, sir. Very reluctant. In fact, I'm gonna give myself some grace for a moment.
Take a deep breath.
Cleansing breath, grace given. Here we go.
Money this week. Y'all know I asked for some money, right? And what happened? What happened? We gonna get it. And all I need now, Governor, is you to give me some more. And I think I saw Mr. Lampert.
3 people
Mr.
just
Lampert
died.
with the Jaguars. I know you here somewhere. You know what? Mr. Lampert ain't never up close on the front row. He see you from the sideline. And when you need something, he always there.
Massa always there.
Always there for you.
We are not going to allow these institutions to be targeted.
No. Keep playing that, because this is the part where they was trying to shut DeSantis down. Basically, DeSantis was starting to speak. Of course, the crowd was angry at him, as they should, and she jumped on the mic like, "Oh, we not going to allow you to, we going to let the governor. This ain't a partisan thing. A bullet don't know no party. This ain't about." And again, like, it's lit. I mean, man.
It's
that's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It's like, we don't care how much money he's giving you. What are you doing with that money?
100%.
And then another thing is, like, personally, I don't give a singular fuck what Ron DeSantis has to say about this.
Absolutely.
If he's not going to lift the bans from Black history.
Yes.
If he's not going to lift the bans from teachers talking about critical race theory.
Absolutely.
And racism and stuff like that, I don't want to hear it.
Absolutely.
Unless it's that, I don't want to hear shit.
But it just shows that you have this class, because that's how, and I don't know, it's like, why are you talking like that? First of all, like, 3 people just were killed, and it's like, I'm going to ask me for some money.
Like,
and Massa gonna give me some more money. And you see the owner of the Jaguars. Does anybody have some more cotton for me to pick? I can get to it right away. God. Like, why are you talking like, first of all, it's 2023. You know what I'm saying? Why are you talking like that? But it is, again, it's like, it's a certain type of Black person that white supremacists are comfortable with. And, it's wild, right? It's definitely not like, if you know when you start to educate yourself and you want like to share equal power with white supremacists, you're the black person they don't want to fuck with, right?
Yeah.
But if you, Master, what we gonna do today? Are you gonna give us some money? Because what happens when you get the money? You be quiet, right? And because you asked this dude for money, you're not up there challenging DeSantis. Fact. You're not challenging his anti-black rhetoric. You're not challenging his anti-black policies because you asked him for some money. And they gonna bring me some more money. And he said he was gonna put some biscuits on the side of my money. I was gonna have some gravy with them. Like, come on, man, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And DeSantis is comfortable with that type of black person, right?
Of course. Those are the same people he employs.
Yeah, I don't know what. Hey, Jacksonville, we gonna have to do. Can we go down there, Miracle?
Jacoby Pittman was first appointed by then Governor Rick Scott, who was a Republican in 2018. After 3 failed bids for city council. And she won re-election this past year when she held off 3 people who were trying to unseat her.
Oh, no.
So, again, when you want to unseat an incumbent, you got to gather around one candidate and not split the vote.
Yes.
But she is aligned with the people who put her in power.
Yeah.
And created this memorial because she believes that all lives matter within her district. Per her press release.
Oh, my God.
And so this is who she is. And so I do hope the people of Jacksonville are waking up and understanding why every election matters and why the people you pick to fight for you matters. Because at no point should a moment when you are fighting for the survival of your people, should you stop to beg for money.
100%.
You should have stopped and begged for resources for your community. You should have had demands of the governor and the elected officials there. And you should have highlighted what is happening within your community. And for this to be the world's introduction to you was a huge misstep.
And it's interesting because it makes me wonder at what point. Like, was there some point in her talking or her remarks that she stopped to thank God for slavery? I mean, because it seemed like
the Florida thing.
It seemed like she had that same spirit. I thank God.
I thank God for slavery.
I don't know what's up with the Florida blacks. I do.
Florida blacks is crazy.
No, because you had the one man that DeSantis had for his AP history talking about
that dude was horrible.
Black people, animals, and all type of stuff.
Yeah,
like. I don't know where these people in Florida,
but it
go because Florida, the Seminole, Florida was historically the place for free black people to go in the South. Yeah. That was the place where intersectionality, because indigenous folks and black people were going there, and then you had Rosewood, and then you had the scourge of trying to murder and kill black and indigenous people in Florida.
I mentioned Rosewood as like a black. They had their own, you know what I'm saying? Communities. They were building in their own stuff.
Some of the oldest black churches and black landmarks and black colleges are in Florida. Some of them, not the oldest, because I want you to argue with me. And so I'm very confused of why these are the people that Florida seems to... Byron, the black representative. Oh yeah, I just don't understand the Florida blacks.
Well, I think it's not. To me, it's not really.
I just don't get it.
It's more a representative of the white power structure in Florida and who they allow. Like you said, Governor, when Rick Scott is now the senator. I mean, he's one of the most. If y'all don't know who Rick Scott is, the senator in Florida, because he looks like, to me. If you ever look at him, remember when Jim Carrey played Fire Marshal Bill? Yes. He looks exactly like Fire Marshal Bill from but he's one of the most corrupt individuals. And so this is the white power structure, right? And so to me, now who are they empowering? They're empowering like our most sycophantic.
Look at you with the 5
syllables. Come on. Black leaders.
Good word.
Seriously, I played Scrabble last night. I'm fucking all you niggas up today.
So, but I'm saying that's the type of leadership class they're going to rise up because, and they're showing you, right? She's begging for money. She's in the city council seat. Right? And so it's like, these are the type of black people we want. And speaking of black people siding with white supremacists.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I didn't do it.
Oh, no, I'm not looking at you. I'm just saying,
like,
speaking of...
It was not me.
I'm about to say.
Well, it happened in Georgia, Miracle.
It was not me.
Shit.
And in Georgia...
It was not me.
In
I
Georgia...
said the Florida blacks.
Okay,
now you're trying to bring the
Georgia blacks into it.
Hold on.
Shout out to at least the Georgia blacks have came together to put some charges on Donald Trump and his cronies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Georgia blacks for doing that. And what's interesting was you had this group of, we put the tweet out, they called them the Shady Bunch, right? These 18, 19 defendants that are being, tried in the RICO by Fannie Willis, and almost all of them, went in, took their mug shot, paid their bail, and got out, except for one person. He happened to be the black guy who is the leader and founder of Black Voices for Trump. And guess what that nigga is? Still in jail.
Damn.
Still in the Fulton County jail, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, watch the bed bugs, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? And it's wild because I guess he's saying, do we have a clip of him speaking to the judge? This nigga got handcuffs on. He got the whole... Trump didn't have to wear the jumpsuit. My nigga's in a full jumpsuit. Oh, y'all thought they was going to have your back, huh? Harrison.
I've spoken with several different attorneys before flying out here. Their cost is typically between $40,000 to $100,000 just to retain a lawyer for these charges. And then they charge hourly. I cannot afford. I'm not going to put my family in that kind of debt, especially with my daughter. I cannot afford an attorney for something like this.
Sorry, Harrison.
Well,
maybe you need to talk to Trump's
Judge McAfee will go through the process. If you choose to represent yourself and to not retain a lawyer, he will go through that process and ask those questions with you. I just want to advise you of your right at this point.
You can pause
that if you wish to hire.
Looks like it's time to start snitching. Get your snitch on, my nigga.
Man.
So,
yes, break it down, Miracle.
I come to you.
Are you going to represent Harrison?
No, I'm not. I'm only guard in New York. With the understanding that a person just died last night in the Fulton County jail.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Another
person.
Oh, my God.
What were the causes?
Hasn't been released yet.
Okay.
The reason that this man cannot get an attorney is because a few years ago, a judge ruled that you had to represent your clients even if they could not pay or were not willing, were unable to pay.
Oh, wow.
And so the lawyers in Atlanta basically banded together and said, unless you have $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 up front, we're not taking your case. Right? So the majority of people in the Fulton County jail have not been convicted, are sitting there on high bonds, detainable amounts, but they can't afford it. They're too poor to afford attorneys. They're too poor to pay their bail. And then the public defender's office is severely underfunded. So you have people just languishing in these jails.
True.
People have been there 3 years, 4 years. One person just, went viral for being there 7 years and not even having a trial.
Yeah.
And so the Fulton County jail is a horrible human rights violation. And for this black man to sit there and say, I am not going to put my family through going bankrupt. That's people's lived experiences and realities every day. Once they get arrested, they can't afford attorneys, and they literally are facing homelessness and displacement to defend their lives and their freedom. And so for the Trump administration to have these black people literally putting their freedoms on the lines, and they're refusing to get even a private attorney, not even a junior associate.
That's crazy.
Not even an intern. Not even a certified legal intern to come and negotiate a bail for this person.
Trump's up to like $60 million this year in legal fees. And you can't get my man a lawyer? Black Voices for Trump? He done organized the little rally outside. You know what I'm saying?
We got more
travesty. This is what happens. The white supremacy. Well, we said the elasticity of white supremacy. It will expand and contract. And once it spits you out and says you're not worth it, it spits you out. And now you have this black man in one of the most violent jails in this nation.
Yeah.
And Trump is somewhere who just raised $7 million, by the way.
Yeah, $7 million supposedly off of his mugshot. And remember, like the spectacle of even Trump coming to the jail with all these motorcycles and motorcade. He's in there for maybe 20 minutes. He doesn't have to put a jumpsuit on, right? He got his mugshot taken, but then it was able to walk out, get on his private plane and leave. And now here you, Harrison, right? And you're thinking that because you start Blacks for Trump, that somehow that closeness to Donald Trump equals protection, equals support, equals money. Come to find out, it don't equal none of that shit.
Facts.
That literally all those things you would think closeness to Trump gets you, he got none of them. Now you got a felony on your record as a black man. You can't go to work because, nigga, you in jail. You can't get out of jail. Now what happens? But it's like, I think for people like myself.
Does he still support Trump?
He doesn't have a choice.
He does have a choice, Miracle.
No, but I'm saying
it's called snitching.
I mean, that is how snitching works, right? This system breaks, white supremacy breaks you down. You got to turn.
Yep.
But right now, he doesn't have a choice, right? Because he has to hold on to the hope that Trump is going to come save him.
True.
Right?
True.
Until the very last moment. But Fanny's already said, she told y'all at the very beginning,
yes,
you either snitch now or you're screwed.
Yeah.
So even if he snitches now, he's still going to be going to jail. He's still facing a felony.
I mean,
because she's
maybe Fanny can give him immunity. Wouldn't it be? That would
no.
be.
She came out. She said this. She said.
Oh, she said no immunity.
No, she sent letters. She said y'all have until this date to decide if you're going to cooperate or not.
Okay.
If you don't cooperate, we're coming for you.
Wow.
So
Man.
no matter what he does now.
Man.
He's screwed. This is why you got to be careful who you're loyal to. Like loyalty loyalty will come and screw you over and bite you in the behind.
Particularly Trump, who has, hyped up and then dissed so many people, and it's like you have to literally I can't even say anything because. Anything I say, Farouk is over there like, boss. I mean, you literally have to hang off this man's genitals. Like Donald Trump, in order to be part of his inner circle.
Yes. I mean, that's just what it is. He needs,
that's what he needs, right? He needs a massage.
That's crazy. I think, okay.
But I'm saying, and so, again, like you said, now here's Harrison. And it was another
Harrison who's hung out to dry. See what I did there?
And there was another another black woman, right?
Travion or whatever.
Yeah, she
her
was
mugshot was crazy.
Yeah,
her mugshot was.
Yeah. I don't understand why the publicist would take a mugshot like that. First of all, the angle was horrible. You look maniacal.
Yeah,
your mugshot is.
She looked very Kubrickian.
Yes.
Your mugshot
like the Joker,
is
like Harley Quinn. What the hell?
It's supposed to evoke sympathy, or understanding.
You like she was here for a good time, not a long time.
You had a pre-approved mugshot. People would kill for that, and that's the picture you take. The blonde lady looked straight on and smiled because you're supposed to be like, oh, okay, she's there. Like I'm supposed to fight for her. I don't even. I'm just done.
But again, I mean,
could we play the opposite end of Harrison? No pause.
Okay, right. So
the other niggas.
When Trump was going to turn himself in, there was a rally, and I don't say it was like 5 or 6 people. But one of them...
It was a gathering.
It was a gathering. Yes, it was a gathering.
A short, convenient.
One of them didn't have the blacks for Trump. I guess maybe he broke away from Harrison and created his own offshoot. Niggas for Trump.
The blacks for Trump are like the wealthy bourgeois.
Yes.
The
people,
blacks
in Buckhead,
the people who are Republican for because they want to pay taxes.
He's a Zone 9 nigga. Nigga for Trump.
Niggas for Trump is over here smoking unorganic weed, but telling you need to drink CMOS.
So they interviewed the gentleman or the nigga for Trump.
Self-identified.
I swear to God, this is a Boondocks episode.
It is 1,000%.
This is something Aaron
real
Magruder,
life.
I want Aaron Magruder to put him up to this shit.
Yes.
Tell me, nigga, did you do this to this man? Because I need to know.
Yes.
Anyway, here is Niggas for Trump.
Yes.
Do we have a name for the spokesman?
No.
Uncle Ruckus.
Nigga.
His name?
No relation. All right.
President Trump. You want to know why I'm here to support President Trump? Because they done did black men like this for decades. Make up charges and put on so I know Trump is innocent.
Harrison is still
I support Trump against this corrupt, two-tiered justice system. That's why I'm here to show my support as a black man for Trump. And I'm wearing my shirt, Niggas for Trump 2024, and I mean that.
He mean it. Niggas for Trump.
It's like he was about to start crying.
And this is why
I came down.
This is why Trump literally should hire me. Because if I was Drew Findlay,
is this why? Is this
Miracle? Your English is just a little too good. You're too articulate.
You heard it here first.
If I was Drew, when I pulled up to turn Trump in, I would have had a bunch of bail bonds people bail everyone out of the Atlanta jail.
Yes.
And so when Trump came out, I would have had all of these black
people
men
come out with
me and be like, listen, Atlanta, what they are doing to you, they are trying to do to me. And I would have had a whole
you hear that, Donald?
Publicity campaign.
Miracle just officially announced
that.
And then you would have had the Niggas for Trump's shirts on the cut. And then you would put all the Niggas for Trump shirts on everybody that came
Miracle
out.
would have had Trump kente cloth.
We would have, listen, it would have been probably like black men for Trump because we got it.
Okay, got you.
Black beings for the king, something like that. I don't know.
For the king.
Because it's King Trump.
Whoa.
I've done that because, again, Atlanta is Georgia in particular has one of the highest probation rates in the country. Yeah. We love to arrest people and throw them in jail. And again, you could have had a whole national campaign. Trump did the First Step Act, freed up more black people than Harriet Tubman. But also put them back in. And so, but I think Georgia's in play, so you have to think strategically.
True.
But Trump is someone who only thinks for himself. And I think people have to look at his actions and start to see all the people he's left behind and by the wayside. He only is out for himself because there is what does the military say? Like, no man left behind.
Yeah, the Marines, no man left behind.
Everybody tells you never leave your people behind. Nothing. And you doing that?
He left them all behind.
He was like,
Harrison in there crying, bro.
Giuliani was there why is Giuliani even in front of a mic at this point?
True.
Like, all your people, y'all all came at different times, different lawyers. It's a mess.
Is his senility under question? Like Giuliani, isn't he
to me it is. I mean, this dude
he looks like he's not with reality.
No,
anymore.
he does not. No. He does not. But I think the thing is Miracle is that goes against, Trump's whole thing is Atlanta is a place, a shithole city filled with murderers, and that Fannie needs to be focused on these murders. So if Trump came out with everybody in jail, it would be like he's soft on crime. He's against crime. Crime is rising.
They fake the charges like they faked against me. I'm
just telling you. But I think you're onto something, Miracle, because according to people around Trump, one white supremacist that Trump is very close with is named Laura Loomer, Miracle, and Laura Loomer tweeted this out. The black vote is going to come out strong for Donald Trump in 2024. They just arrested Trump and booked him in the blackest jail in the state of Florida. I'm sorry, the state of Georgia. On phony, trumped up charges. Fannie Willis just made Donald Trump the most relatable man on the ballot for the black community.
I missed it. I guess that's like her version of Joe Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Right. She said,
except for we have the Convict Trump Free Thug campaign.
She said it's Donald Trump versus the man who called black people super predators.
Ooh, except for that was Hillary.
That was Hillary. Yeah. So again, is this? I mean, let me speak to the black men.
Oh wow.
Nice.
That's okay.
Can I ask the black men first? Black men.
Remington, would you like to chime in?
Black men.
Ime, would you like to chime in? Oh, Ime left.
Does this make Trump relatable and more acceptable and more willing for you all to vote? No.
Not at all.
Not at all? No?
Nope.
Trump wasn't even the first person from Home Alone to put out a mugshot. Macaulay Culkin beat that nigga like 20 years ago. So no. If anybody, I'm voting for Macaulay Culkin.
You said there's a free thug,
Convict Trump. People had Convict Trump Free Thug campaigns. So we're going to do a trade-off. Yeah. But no, I don't think it's going to work because Trump's team
that doesn't make him more relatable.
No. This man he'd been having crimes.
For miracle, he's in the blackest jail in the state of Georgia.
And so was everybody else. The half Atlanta's in the blackest jail.
That's hilarious.
No, I don't think it makes him relatable. I think that his mugshot made him look like a petulant child.
It did.
I don't think it was. He didn't practice. He needed Tyra Banks to come and help him.
Yes.
And I think the fake mugshot did better than the.
It did.
It
did. The real mugshot was wild.
Well, what did the niggas Fox News say? He had a spotless track record of heterosexual behavior.
Yes.
But he wanted the photographer from Trump's mugshot because he, quote, looked good and hard.
Yes, good and hard, right?
Oh, man.
I mean, and then you had people like Marjorie Taylor Greene actually creating their own mugshots.
Manifest Marjorie.
Yes.
Manifest.
Yes. Manifest that.
Throw her under the fucking jail.
Absolutely,
man.
absolutely.
Like,
so I do think that,
but that isn't that just whiteness? Like,
that's white supremacy.
Jack, have you ever wanted to be in jail?
But
so bad that you photoshopped yourself into a jail.
But it's also white supremacy to say, like, Trump having a mugshot photo and a booking photo makes him like blacker.
Right, that just further affirms that you only relegate us to criminality.
Yes, you only look at us and from the lens of a criminal. We're all criminals anyway, and so because we're all criminals and because we face, and this is the wild part. It's like, again, black people have been in many cases. I mean, we're still dealing with mass incarceration, right? And black people being convicted on false charges, sent to prison, executed, all of these things. I mean, we had to have campaign after campaign for black people who have been put away for the wrong reasons, right?
And even to the population of us that are in jail, he's still not relatable because they're still sitting in jail.
Come on,
bro, and this man has 91 felonies. And it's walking out, right? And you mentioned Young Thug. Young Thug's people made the point, like, Young Thug has the same charges as Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They're both charged under the RICO Act. How come Young Thug doesn't have a bail? Because he could be out on bail. He could be providing for his family.
Is there something they can do about that? Like, can they actually introduce that in the court as a form of an appeal or like a...
I mean, if there's a conviction... but no, because that is the discretion of the district attorney to ask for a bail or bond. And I believe they tried to say all of the YSL folks were a danger to society or a flight risk.
Trump is not a flight risk?
He's white, so no.
I mean, and that's basically what it is.
I mean, because Trump, I would argue Trump was more of a flight risk because he has his own plane.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, come on.
He has properties overseas.
The world. He has a direct partnership with foreign dignitaries and foreign business people. His own son-in-law has places across the country, and we've already known there's like billions of dollars of money that's being hidden and moved about. So I would have argued that Trump would be a bigger flight risk.
I mean, think about it. Think about, like, Trump could basically just go to Saudi Arabia. It's not like Saudi Arabia would extradite this dude.
Correct.
And he could just be,
it's like Succession. Yeah. When they were flying all over the place to places without extradition.
Yes, absolutely. 1,000%.
You know what I mean? Like, they were just racing against the FAA, just trying to find a non-extradite.
Could you imagine, like, finding Trump? Like, where's Trump? Like, in the world, like, Trump gets convicted.
We have come up with so much branding material on this show over the course of these 140 episodes. Like,
Trump is not going to turn, because, Trump's not going to jail.
No.
He's not going to prison. This dude going to be in Saudi Arabia chilling. This going to be wild. Yes. We're manifesting Trump in prison.
In the world.
But so what happens, we are in the midst of, one of the things we didn't cover that happened last week was the first Republican debate took place. And the person who people seem to resonate towards in the debate, or they said, quote unquote, won the debate, was our brown friend.
Is he a friend, though?
I was going to say brown brother, but he's definitely not that. Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah. And so Vivek now has kind of gone mainstream in the sense. And it was wild to see Vivek
a bizarre turn of events.
It's super bizarre. It was funny to me that Vivek like bit Obama's whole swag and flow. Where he was like, I'm a brown guy with a funny name. And they were like, Obama said that, right?
Yeah, who was it that caught him on that?
Chris Christie. Chris caught him on that. Yeah. But Vivek was asked about, again, Vivek is on the Sunday shows. And they asked Vivek, Vivek is one of these brown people that gets in front of cameras to make white people comfortable, right? Yes. I mean, that's really what he is, right? And to tell white people they're not racist, they love everybody, and then white people can say, oh, look how diverse we are. We have Vivek. So Vivek did an interview about what took place in Jacksonville. You have that clip?
Unfortunately.
Man, white supremacist exists somewhere in America. I've just never met him. Maybe I'll meet a unicorn sooner.
What do you think goes through the minds of the families of the 3 victims in yesterday's shooting when they hear you say that white supremacy is basically a fantasy?
I'm sure they're grieving for their loss, and I don't want to politicize those victims, Dan. And I was responding to a question where someone asked me, what racism have I experienced in recent years?
Do you acknowledge, though, that white supremacy does still exist in the United States?
See, this is
I acknowledge that all forms of racial
can't even say it. Think about it. This dude, and it's not like Vivek. Vivek is a brown skin. Your name is Vivek Ramaswamy. You're telling me you never experienced white, so you never met a white supremacist? I mean,
in Ohio?
Come on, man. Come on. Like, at Harvard, where you went to school at, in Boston, the Boston area. Did he go to Harvard or one of these Ivy League schools? Like, come on, man.
A rap name in Harvard?
What'd you say?
He had a rap name in Harvard.
What was his rap name?
He was
BR? Was that his? I don't know.
My problem, and especially because we're here in Pittsburgh, where we literally had an anti-Semitic white supremacist shooting.
Yes.
The fact that people cannot say white supremacy still exists,
correct,
means you're entirely unable and unwilling to fight for people who are being harmed and marginalized.
Yes.
You could have even said, it's a dying, ideology.
Yes.
We need to move past that. But to sit there and say it doesn't exist when we literally have, I want to say it's in Massachusetts, but we literally have a man who has bought land to have a whole white supremacist training campground.
Yeah.
And has basically used the laws, and nobody can stop him from having this white supremacy campground for people to come out and train with their guns. And he does all of this. Like, we are literally living in a time where between Ohio to the coast that we have the most number of active, violent, paramilitary white supremacist groups, who have kill lists, who have training, who go into the woods during winter and practice survivalist training just in case they go and start a race war and need to hide from the police. Like, you can't sit there and say this does not exist. You can condemn it. You can say it's a limited number of people, but to say that it's a unicorn.
Well, someone actually did say they wanted to condemn it, but they said something else.
Let me see. I don't know.
His rap name was Vivek.
We'd have an annual threat hearing, and my ranking member would always be bringing up white supremacy, which I condone. I mean, I condemn. But
no, you said it right the first time.
We'd have an annual threat hearing, and my ranking member would always be bringing up white supremacy, which I condone. I mean,
cracks me up because thinking about like when we do our diversity trainings, people are like, "What do I do if I say the wrong word?" When you're on TV, you just got to keep it going.
But I mean, I think you just make a great point, right? Like, and right, Vivek. And again, here's another one of the. It's so fascinating to me that because here's somebody again, like you said, you're a brown person from Ohio. Mm-hmm. Damn well you've met white supremacists.
I honestly didn't know he was from Ohio.
Then he went to Harvard and Yale.
Come on,
right? And so again, this is one of these individuals. But then now you want to go and talk about being regular.
Were you a legacy admission, Vivek?
Right. Down to earth and, we're just regular folks. And, come on, bro. And so, but Vivek, I guess part of how Vivek is trying to appeal to the masses.
Mm-hmm. It's through anti-blackness.
Yeah.
Well, not only through anti-blackness, but also
through song. Through the song of his heart. What was his rap name?
Vivek the Rapper.
That's whack.
Right.
Okay. Was he related to Chance? Was he like Vivek?
I have a theory.
He maybe thought this was his chance.
I have a theory.
Do you want to play the video? Or
No, I don't think we should even play the video.
You don't want to play Vivek
No, I don't want to play him
rapping Lose Yourself.
I have a theory. You know how like you go and you start rapping, right? And people like look at you on stage and they may boo you or they may be like, no. I feel like he went to a black spot. He took the mic. And
he went to the Apollo.
Got womped off the stage.
That's his origin story.
And he said these black people will never know peace again. And he's playing the long game.
You better lose yourself, boo!
And is playing the long game in his revenge because black people did not accept him as their
I'll take that.
favorite rapper.
Yeah.
And that's why he's like, Juneteenth's got to go.
Yes.
You know, black people are like the KKK.
Right. Yeah.
I think he despises black people, and this is like his whole shtick.
We're still going to play
So
this video.
whoever booed him at the open mic night, this is your fault.
That's funny because it's like it seems like he was trying to make it in the hood.
I couldn't make it.
Set it out.
But still, then he then he put on the hood.
I don't know.
I guess that's reverse
I'm gonna
racism.
say we can't play it because of copyright, and I'm gonna
No,
save
you
all
can
of
play
it.
it.
Yeah, it's on
Boom!
CNN.
Save our sanity. Tomato.
It's terrible. It's absolutely
The
terrible.
fact that he did this, like at the Iowa caucus, is what is funny to me.
Yeah.
You know, I just like who was his campaign strategist that says, you know what, Iowa caucus, you need to show them you're young.
And then they were like, you can't rap any black rapper.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, who would he rap? You know what I mean? What do he do? Like a Kodak
You can't
black
choose
record?
any black rappers, so why don't you choose the white guy?
And Eminem has come out like a lot against the Republican Party.
100%, yeah.
This is
Because I mean,
he
this is
could
the
have
first
done Bone
time.
Thugs and Harmony because it's like
Republican
from
presidential
Ohio.
candidate Vivek Ramaswamy is stepping back from a rap battle with Eminem.
Joking how everybody's joking now. The
This
clock's
the fact
run
that
out.
he did
Time's
this.
up. Over. Plow. Snap
Why?
back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity.
At least like have it like to where the lyrics aren't in there. You kind of cheating on that one.
He had a backing.
Yeah, but shout out to Eminem. Eminem came out and said like, "Don't use my music ever again."
He's
Like
gonna
in
start
life.
singing a Kid Rock song next.
That's what I'm saying. If you
That
gonna rap,
is likely.
if you're going to rap Kid Rock. I mean, that's your man. That's
Racists unite. Racists and kids unite.
It was
under
so
the
funny
Kid
too,
Rock
like
umbrella.
how like they caught Kid Rock drinking a Bud Light. Got him. You know what I'm saying?
Did they really?
Yeah, they actually did.
After he shot it up.
Because they don't care. I mean, you know, all of this.
He's made so much money. It's like he doesn't
Off of black people,
Yeah.
and y'all won't ban him from black events.
But also
makes me so angry.
But also it's like the thing of like, this is theater. Right? They don't care whether or not he probably got a fridge full of Bud Light. It's theater to y'all. It's to try to be relatable to these dumb racist white people, and they just fall for it every time. So now like Vivek is the new guy and maybe he's going to be Trump's, and it's like Vivek is a Harvard, Yale educated man. He realizes you're stupid. Like this is like the new P.T. Barnum, right? It's a circus. He realized you're dumb. He knows like if I say these things, oh, you know, we don't like, we want women to play sports against women. Everybody will cheer, right? He knows how to push your buttons. The nuclear family is what we need. And it's like they do that and they know by doing that, they can get money from y'all.
I blame George.
George who?
I blame George Santos.
I didn't know which George.
Because, but like literally, he has shown
excuse
people.
me, that man's name is Scam God. Okay.
Listen, but George Santos has really shown people
He's shown
like
people, yes.
you can scam
Yes.
and run for office
Yes.
and you'll be okay.
You'll be
Did
okay.
Santos show us that or did Trump?
I mean, Trump was the first. Well, because
I was about to
remember,
say, I mean, that was probably Nixon was a good scammer.
but remember, Trump was the one that said, if I were to run, I'm going to run as a Republican because they're dumb. I mean, he said this, and now these people are like, did you see that interview where they're like,
Because he said it on what, Phil Donahue or Sally Jesse Raphael?
I
One of
forget.
those two, yeah.
But the lady was like, oh, Trump's still in office. And they're like, well, you're outside of the jail where he just booked himself. Oh, this is just a movie. And she was like, the guy was like, well, what about Joe Biden? Oh, he's dead. Well, who's playing Joe Biden?
What?
Oh, yes, the real Joe Biden's dead. Well, who's dead? Oh, he's an actor. Well, so wait, what? And this is all, and Trump's going to come out. This is Trump supporters, bro. They believe that Trump is still president, even though the man has 91 felonies and is getting arrested. And he probably arrested today. We don't even know. Like, that's what I'm saying.
This
these
is
people
fucking
are
wild.
Hey, bro, these people are out of their mind, but they're dumb and they'll believe what you tell them. And so you get these very intelligent folks that know I can scam these people. It's almost like the new church. Right?
Yeah.
Because the religion is white supremacy.
Of course.
You white
said
supremacy
this many times.
is the religion. And so, like, these are the new mega pastors. So Vivek is the new mega pastor in terms of a brown person. He knows I can lie to these white people, tell these white people what they want to hear. And because it comes out of a brown mouth.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Yo.
Oh, my goodness.
Yo. His mouth is brown, Farouk. Isn't it? Because it comes out of the mouth of a brown person, right? They're gonna believe it, and they're gonna like it even better because they can say, "Oh, obviously we're not racist. It's a brown person." Man, this is crazy.
Very, very crazy.
Tired.
Wow.
I am exhausted.
It is spicy over here on this week of white supremacy.
Is that kind of racist? Are we talking about a brown person?
Shit.
What?
Damn.
What?
That was racist. We're talking about
wow.
What just happened?
We're talking about a brown person. He's talking about it spicy. Okay, I found that racist.
You found that was a microaggression? Was that? Do you need to go self-reflect and think about?
So with that being said,
wow. Listen,
is there any? It's you know what? Obviously,
Miracle,
it's more racism.
Miracle,
Yes.
pass that down to Miracle, please, because she wants to read.
No. Let me read this.
We're not at the end. We're at the end.
We are at the end, Miracle. Why, you had something else you want to talk about?
I did. I had more things I wanted to talk about.
Talk about it, Miracle.
Shout out to Sha'Carri. Shout out to Simone.
Yes.
Shout out to Coco. Like,
Yes.
this has
Yes.
been a great week for Black women.
Shout out to Jasmine.
Yes.
Yes.
Yo,
Our very own
Jasmine Green.
Our very own Jasmine
Black Girl
Green.
Absolute.
It's in the New York Times based on the Try Me earrings.
Which is...
Are they still available? Yes. Still available at blackgirlabsolute.com, right? And
can we plug that again?
blackgirlabsolute.com. The Try Me earrings, the folding chair earrings. And then also shout out also in the article, our very first guest on This Week in White Supremacy,
Dr. Uju Anya.
Dr. Uju Anya. Shout out to Dr. Anya as well. And you said Sha'Carri, she in the other women won the 4x100.
Sha'Carri won, got her gold medals.
Yes.
Simone Biles.
8-time United States gymnast champion. Never had been done before. Shout out to Simone.
Coco, I think it's golf.
Coco Golf.
Names. She just advanced to the U.S. Open, but yesterday she was playing her match in tennis. I'm learning the terminology because she's not a sports girl, and her opponent was doing these delaying, stalling tactics.
Oh, that's whack.
And Coco had to advocate for herself. She had to go and talk to the umpire during the game.
Yeah.
The crowd was backing her. The announcers were backing her, and just like shout out to all the love that she got for standing up for herself against these microaggressions and the wrongs that she was doing. But again, it's just been a great week, for a lot of Black women doing amazing things. But in sports, love seeing like Black women lifted up, loved on, and supported, especially as athletes, because we watch Venus and Serena and so many other Black women athletes be dogged upon the media, and just to see the change that has happened in the past couple of years. Wanted to shout out all the Black women athletes who are doing amazing, great things.
Shout out.
I did want to also, on a serious note, give our condolences. And also don't want to forget Lalaga. She won as well. She threw a best in the discus title.
Oh yeah, she won the discus. I think that she did great.
So just shout out to the world champions, to the world, because they're
not gonna get into that.
Playing other athletes on the world stage.
Yes.
I'm a shout out to my not real cousin, but my cousin, Mr. Jones, since people are going after him, on social media. But he was right. You gotta want to be a world champion. You gotta fight world athletes. Yeah, but also on a serious note, I'm moving on to a very serious note. We want to give our love and our condolences to Brother Vic's family. He was a champion here in the Pittsburgh area. He ran a bunch of barbershops, gave a lot of stuff back to the community, and tragically lost his life last week, and so he just wanted to give our love and condolences to Brother Vic, and just to remind people just to put the guns down. If you have, beef with someone else, if you can't work it out, just go about your life. No disrespect or disagreement or rash judgment is worth losing your life and facing life in prison. And so just reminding people just to take a moment. We survived summer. Everyone has the right to go back home at the end of the day. So just take a moment and just, love on your brothers and sisters and just find a better way to resolve disagreements.
Also, shout out to the parents. Kids are back in school. You know what I'm saying?
Large up to all the parents.
Get a day back.
Yeah, man.
The Petri dishes are outside the house.
When did yours go back?
Last week.
Oh,
yeah. Last Monday. Yeah.
Okay. Great. First day?
Yeah. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good.
Day? Okay, good.
So we have a book
that I can't read.
A Taste of Power.
It's your mind, bro. It's not him. It's no one else.
A Black woman's story by Elaine Brown.
You know what?
Shout out to Elaine Brown.
My last thing is going to be on Thursday from 6 to 8 at the Jaron Grayson Center. I'm moderating a panel called No Way Home, A Mother's Fight to Free Her Son, about death by incarceration in here in Pennsylvania. So it's free. Come out. We will have conversation and some light refreshments for guests. And if you can read, A Taste of Power.
Yes.
Would be a great
Would you
book.
like a taste of power?
We're still in training.
Would you like a taste of power?
We're still growing. We have our own things to learn and go through. And with that, I know Treble always like to say, never lose sight. It has been a great episode of This Week in White Supremacy. We'll see you next week.
Peace. Oh, God.